baby's gonna change everything.
I'll teach the baby art and Chris will change the diapers.
You're giving me
Lee would be such a good mom.
So would you.
Doesn't matter if it's Lee or me, because we don't have the money.
His visa runs out in a few months and he doesn't want to go back to Korea.
My grandmother doesn't know I'm gay.
You come out, they cut you off.
I have a proposal. You marry me and I'll pay for Liz to grow a baby.
What?
Me?
My daughter marrying a man.
It's for the cause. We're helping a gay couple stay together.
Delete all of them?
All of it. Every Pride Parade photo, every National Coming Out Day post.
Can I still post Instagram stories?
Do you want grandchildren?
I'll delete Instagram now.
Dan's grandmother flew in from Korea to meet her future granddaughter-in-law.
What are we supposed to do exactly?
We gotta de-queer the house. You.
What?
You look gay.
When I see something,
Honey, I'm home.
and when I try to help,
Have you picked the wedding date?
We don't want a ceremony.
No ceremony?
This is absurd. All so you can get a green card.
Let's try looking more in love.
I don't even want to be an American. The trains are so slow and I never know how much to tip.
what can I do? What can I say? What can I say?
할아버지 물론 네 결혼 기다리셔. 니들 다 바보야.
What did she say? She said we're dumb.
So welcome back to the SWAU's official channel with myself, your host, Bryan, and with a conversation with the stars. And what a star we've got for you this week. From the film The Wedding Banquet that opens in theatres from the 18th of April, we've got Bobo Lee. Welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be talking to you today, Bryan.
You know, it's an absolute pleasure. And you was in London not long ago at the BFI Flair Festival, if I'm right in saying.
I was at the BFI Flair Festival in London, and it was my first time ever in Europe.
Oh, wow. Wow. So first time on the big screen, first time, in London. How was that? I mean, how was the reception? Because I'm sure that you got so many great sort of comments after people watched this film.
It was so insane. It felt really, really surreal just to come from Vancouver to London and to be there with so many people watching our movie and to be there also with my amazing cast and director. And it was just truly so incredible to see that there are people, on the other side of the world that get to watch and enjoy our movie. It was so cool.
And what a great movie. I mean, watching this, I can see that a lot of people are going to take some amazing life lessons from this film on so many levels, no matter what sort of generation or orientation or anything. It's for every human that watches this, I think they're going to walk away with such a warm feeling, I've got to say. But this film is such a joyful mix of chaos and love. So what was your first impression when the script came across your path?
My first thought was when I was reading, I was just like, whoa, there's 4 gay people in the same house. That's crazy. And it was insane because I thought that there's so many different stories happening at the same time. And I thought it was so beautiful that despite all these things that, all these characters are going through, they kind of come together to and confide in each other to solve their problems and to grow and to learn and to tackle all these things that they want for themselves and for each other. And I thought it was such a beautiful story that was being told, and my character that gets to kind of witness all of this, it was amazing.
I mean, when I was at university, I actually lived with 2 gay couples, and it was literally a mixture. I mean, I did performing arts at university, so everyone was very flamboyant, was always out partying, but it was like a good group of friends. And this is why I love this movie so much. I can relate to a lot of this, on so many levels. But originally, if I'm right in saying, you originally were cast in a smaller role. but your performance led to an expanded part. So how did that feel when you got the news that actually your part is getting bigger in this movie?
You know what? So Andrew called me into his office before I was supposed to come into the office to do a fitting, and they asked me to come in earlier because Andrew wanted to talk to me before I went and got fitted. And I was a little nervous. I was like, what does he want to talk to me about? And then he shared the news that, he was rewriting the character and expanding the part quite a bit. And like Kendall went from being just a friend and is now Bowen Yang's cousin in the movie. And he's developing this like deeper relationship between the two. And I was just like, wait, what? That's whoa. Like, but how did this come about? And Andrew just loved this, chaotic sibling energy that I brought to the role, and he just wanted to dive right in, and I just felt so honored, and it was incredible. I felt really, really, really grateful that he saw these aspects that I brought to the character, and he loved it so much, and I feel truly, truly honored. Really, I couldn't believe it.
And I love how your character pops up at just the right time in this movie to deliver some key points within this journey. Especially, I won't ruin it for people, but towards the end, you have a sweet moment with Bowen, which literally, I turned around to my wife and she wasn't even tearing up, but there's me tearing up. And I'm like, okay, now I've just realized my wife is heartless. But what a beautiful it is a beautiful moment on so many levels. So your character is Chris's cousin, who's played by Bowen Yang, which is a legend in his own right, from Saturday Night Live to what my girls would say is an icon, because they absolutely love Wicked, and of course he features in that quite a lot. I mean, what kind of energy did you want to bring to that dynamic? Because Bowen is quite a character in himself. And did you base Kendall on anyone that you knew, or was it straight off the page?
I think Kendall came straight from me. I think there's so many aspects of Kendall that I think I am Kendall in many, many ways. And it's incredible that my chemistry with Bowen, I think is a lot like our chemistry on screen. Is that whatever ideas Bowen has, I will support it all the way. Good ideas, bad ideas, I will think it's the best idea ever. So I think that was really just our dynamic on screen and off screen. I just love him so much, and I think it really translated on screen.
It certainly did. I mean, it's great to see those moments when you're all together as well. I just think that is incredible, especially towards the end, because this movie not only makes you cry, laugh, it made me near enough stand up out my seat towards the end. I don't want to ruin it for people, but it's there is a dragon. That's all I'm going to say. And literally, I yelled at the screen, which is great. I mean, this is full of twists and turns, and the story just keeps you on the edge of your seat because you're wondering what's going to happen next. Have you got a favorite memory of being on set, that one scene that maybe we can't spoil, but is there a favorite moment, on screen or behind screen from working on this film?
I have so many favorite memories of being on set off screen. I mean, on screen was obviously so much fun. You get to see it all. But off screen, I think me and all of our cast, we bonded so much, art gallery night, while offset in the green room, we were eating a lot of hot Cheetos. We were trying ketchup chips, which is like a Canadian thing, all dressed chips. We're eating all kinds of chips and gummy bears, and I had so much Cheeto dust getting all over my costume, and it was so much fun. We just had so much fun together, and Joan Chen tells this story all the time about us eating gummies, and like she'll want to have the gummies, and she's like, "What kind of gummies are those?" Well, they're little suspicious gummies, and we're like, "They're just Haribo gummies." So we have an incredible time, just hanging out with each other, and it is really sweet. Oh, there's also a bunch of days where During our downtime, we watched multiple seasons of couples therapy, and we really bonded through that. And we just had so much fun together. And these are memories that I will never ever forget.
I bet it was quite emotional, when you shot your last scene and it was
Yeah.
all over. I mean, how did that feel? Because it sounds like you became one big family. So for it to all be over, I mean, what was that like?
The most special thing, I was so emotional because I'm a newcomer to this, and all of my cast, they've been doing this a long time. They're all really, really incredible actors, and it was really special because they knew that this was my first time being on a set like this, and they took such great care of me, and they loved me so, so, so much, and I really felt it in every scene that I shot, and especially in my final scene that I shot with them. We were shooting a scene in the house, and then Andrew said that, that's a wrap on me, and I just cried so much. And the beautiful thing was that scene was it was me and all of the cast, and they all came in and they gave me the biggest hug, and I just felt my tears just I was sobbing uncontrollably, and we actually have a photo of this moment, and it was so beautiful that all of them, they were just hugging me, and I was right in this little sandwich of Lily, Kelly, Bowen, and Guchan, and it's a photo I look back at all the time because I love it so much, and it really does bring back these beautiful first moments for me, and I couldn't have asked for a better experience with these amazing, beautiful people who love and care for me so much, and they were just as excited and emotional because yeah, they knew that this was something that was so so special to me.
And it must be quite nice, getting back together with the cast at these premieres and these festivals, because I suppose it's friends that you haven't seen for a while. Then all of a sudden you pop back and it's like it was only yesterday. I mean, with this cast, I mean, you've got Lily Gladstone, Oscar nominee actress, amazing talent, and as well as the other, the cast as well. I mean, this being your first sort of big screen project. I mean, did you get any advice? Did you sort of ask them 1,001 questions? I mean, did they teach you anything while you was on set?
Oh, absolutely. The amazing thing is that they taught me that the most important thing is for me to just have fun and just enjoy the ride and just really soak it in. I would express to them every day that I'm just like, you guys, I can't believe that I'm here right now. I can't believe that I'm doing this thing with you guys right now. And they're just like, soak it in. You deserve it. You deserve to be here. And they validated my experience so much. And I think that was one of the things that I really took away from it was just like they made me feel very confident in that, like, yeah, I was meant to be here. It was meant to be that this project decided to shoot in Vancouver instead of LA. It was originally supposed to shoot in LA, and it was meant to be that that they found me in Vancouver, and it was meant to be that Andrew rewrote this character. Like it all really lined up, and getting to talk to Lily and talk to Bowen and Kelly about my experience, and just how in shock that I am that I'm here. They really did just let me know constantly that they really enjoyed working with me and just being around me, and that I was meant to be here.
And you certainly was meant to be there because your performance was absolutely incredible in the film. And the great thing is, there was no real small characters. Everyone had such a lovely story, and it was really nice when you came on screen and you gave your sort of bit, to add to the story. I mean, the film explores cultural identity, which is fantastic, and queerness in a really heartfelt way. Did it resonate with your own experiences growing up in Vancouver?
Absolutely. I think one of the beautiful things about this movie is that there is a theme of acceptance for who you are. And I like to think that the people around me, I used to think that people would not be as accepting or they wouldn't understand. but people will surprise you, you know? And I think that's something that shows in our movie and also for me in real life is that people are a lot more understanding than you think. And in my experience, I've been really fortunate that way that the people in my life in and around Vancouver love me for who I am and continue to support me.
And so they should. And so they should. This is what I'm teaching my girls: is that love hasn't got a gender. It hasn't got, I don't, it's like being colorblind, but that's how it should be, And I love in this film Min's mum in this film. I just love how we see that story and that journey for her in this film, because I think that's very, very important because, again, culturally, I don't know what it's like back there in Korea. So I don't want to step on too many toes, but it's quite nice to see how it is portrayed on screen and how we see that develop.
Absolutely. There's, in many Asian cultures, these things are very, it's not something that we speak about. It's pretty unspoken. And to see it on screen in this way where she knew, and then it was a thing, and then that was that. So what a beautiful, I think that's a story that needs to be told because as a lot of stories are that, they're unaccepting and they don't want, to hear any of this. But this one was a different story that was told, and I think we really needed it.
And it's been done beautifully on screen. It really is. It's like a work of art. And then talking about the director, I mean, is there a particular note or moment that stuck with you working with Andrew on this film?
Andrew is so amazing, and he creates such a safe space for us to play and explore and dive into our characters. And he keeps us, all of us very curious about our characters. And the most amazing thing about Andrew is that he really trusts us. And I really felt that too, is that, there was a day where me and Bowen got a brand new scene on the day in hair and makeup. And we had not a lot of time to look it over. And it was actually the ending scene that you were talking about, or emotional scene. So it was a big scene. And we got that pretty last minute. And, Andrew really trusted me and Bowen. And we felt so safe. Normally, for me, getting something like that last minute, something that deep, I'd be like, oh, I need more time. I want to dive into this. I need to break this down. But Andrew just created this space for us to just simply live and breathe into our characters. And it allowed this level of trust and spontaneity between me and Bowen to unfold. And I think what you saw on screen is exactly that. And it turned out beautiful.
Do you think it would have helped you, having it last minute? Or do you think it would have been different if you had longer time to work on that? Because sometimes I feel that having it last minute, you don't overthink. You just, tap into those emotions and we see what we see on screen.
I think that getting it last minute, I think it was meant to be because it really put me and Bowen into this space of being extremely, extremely present with each other. And because I didn't have all night or all day to sit on it and think about what kind of choices do I want to make in this scene, it just unfolded really, really naturally. And our chemistry just really came through. And I think it turned out for the better that, we got it last minute and we just had to dive right in.
Excellent. I mean, I can't wait for people to watch this film. They need to watch it. It's out on the 18th of April. I just wanted to talk just briefly because I was looking at your bio and you've competed in street dance battles. You've opened for Hip Hop International. Have you ever thought about doing this for film? Either choreographing or going into choreographing fight scenes as well, because a lot of dance choreography goes into those. Is that something that may be in your future?
Absolutely. I mean, dance has always been such a big part of my life, and the I was able to bring it into this film. There's a little dance segment that you see in our movie, and that was something that Andrew actually added after he met me at our final callback audition, because I very randomly decided, because he asked me, he was like, "Do you have any questions, about the script or anything like that?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, like I realized that there's a scene in the movie where Kendall goes to the club," and I was like, "I can dance," and then I pulled my iPhone out and I put on a random song on Spotify, and I started freestyling for Andrew, Joe, and Caroline, our producers, and they were just dying at the back there. And then Andrew decided to write it into the script, so I got to do a
Excellent.
little dance in the movie, and I would love to do more of that. I'm super open to dancing, to fighting, and dancing and fighting. The choreography, yeah, you're right. It really crosses over with each other. So I would love to explore that.
And talking about dance, what's your favorite dance movie?
Oh, you know, I'm a big fan of all the Step Up movies. I
Are you
love the Step
really?
Up
Oh,
movies.
what?
Yeah, I love. And then there was this movie too that I watched called Street Dance that I really, really loved. Um, Yeah, I love them all. I've never watched a movie with dance where I didn't like it. I love them all.
You see, I loved a film called You Got Served, which is a great
Oh, that's
film.
that's that's a good one. That's a
Which
that
is
yeah, that's a
which is
good
a
one.
and I wish I could dance like that, but I'd probably pull a muscle or pull an arm out of its joint. So I'd leave it up to the professionals like yourself. And then on screen, the family that we see of friends in this movie is so nice. I mean, who was the one that was doing the most bloopers? Who was the one that was breaking character the most?
You know, it's funny. I feel like we're all kind of like ourselves in these characters, really. In terms of like just saying the most random stuff, it has to be Bowen. Bowen is just throwing so many different alt lines, and he's a genius. He's amazing. Every scene, like that was one of the coolest things about working with Bowen, that every scene that he would just throw in something different, and I would just like not know what to do, or it's that's my favorite thing about working with him for sure, is that it's not, I wouldn't even call it a blooper really. It's like these are options.
It would be nice if those were at the end of the movie. But I'm surprised
Yeah,
Bowen's
all of
got
them.
time to film these films because he's on Saturday Night Live, isn't he? So he's like sort of busy all the time. I mean, with this film, with everyone watching, what's the one thing that you'd like people to take away from this experience of watching this film?
I would love for people to walk away and see our characters and what they go through, and know that for you, your version of happiness matters, whatever that may look like. Whatever the people in your life, your environment, whatever makes you happy, you can build your version of happiness. And I hope that's something that people take away from our film. And I think the theme that really stands out in our movie is chosen family, and having the support of people that you love to build that version of happiness.
And I challenge everyone to not cry, because there will be moments when you tear. There'll be moments when you
Yeah.
laugh, and I think that makes for a great movie. But Bobo, thank you so much for coming on to the show. It's an absolute
Thank you so much for
pleasure,
having
and
me.
I can't wait to see what you do in the future. But everyone, watch this, The Wedding Banquet, on the 18th of April in theaters. Go and watch it and support this great film. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.